decided to fall back on writing something I actually knew about, which was my first job after college, where being a pasty-faced boy, steeped in the liberal arts, in philosophy and mathematics and Greek philosophy and French and German and Kant and Hegel, etc., until they kicked my ass out in the 20th century and I was left to fend for myself. I went to New York after college and worked at the Fulton Fish Market under the Brooklyn Bridge, where it was notoriously corrupt, relentlessly vulgar, and absolutely hilarious. And I decided to write about that and base some of a play on my experiences there. So that was the genesis of this. All characters, of course, are fictional and not based on real people. But yeah, with names changed to protect the guilty in most cases. And yeah, so it was born because I didn't know what else to write about and had to retreat to my own life and experience. And I think that's actually where the richness of it is, because I could not possibly have made up the best stuff in this play. The actor and the musician in me pick up the rhythms of what does get said and the way in which what's said is surface. I mean, to write subtext in a way, I think that's a blessing that comes from maybe years on the stage. I'm not saying other writers do not have that, they obviously do, but to have that as first and foremost an idea that people don't get to say what they mean all the time. And often, and the play is very much about this, that a recurring refrain in the play is, I don't need to know that. People are always, and especially when shady stuff is going down, you're gonna go, you know what, don't tell me that. Or the implication being, I know what you're saying, but if we say it, it'll become a totally different thing. And possibly dangerous. And that's the tension I wanted to play on. And in recollecting this atmosphere, I could very well, if I were not a creative soul, that could be 3 wasted years of my life, working in a job for which I was not necessarily suited, or which exploited only part of my abilities. But in this, it's an act of reclamation as well, to go like, well, what was that 3 years? I worked at this place for a long time.
That is a long time.
You know, and they were interesting people, and it was an odd environment, but very instructive, and to think about it and go like, well, what was the story of that? And I did grow up significantly there. So that's what I tried to recapture.